Yes, sir. Welcome to My Life Story 702. This Piers Morgan heated debate is the United States getting fed up with Israel, man. Let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. Is we in too deep? Is they the reason why we got all these wars? Let me know how y'all feel. Yes.
And is for the elites. They're like toy soldiers.
When you said that, were you aware of the repercussions if people dishonorably discharged?
So just to put this into context, this is like the Q&A, live Q&A portion at the end of my show. And being facetious, but also being completely honest, that they should begin to consider, and that was somebody asking, what should we do? Like, should we leave the military? Because they also
do you regret
are
saying
recognizing that? No, I don't regret saying that. I don't
But
regret
you know the
having
repercussions if you do discharge dishonorably.
Okay, well, I would imagine that the people that are in the military who were going to, if they were going to listen to my podcast and they were going to dishonorably discharge, that they would know the consequences. So it's completely ridiculous. And again, we see this over and over again where people can't answer the broader questions. They try to suddenly peg in, well, you said this one thing. No. The broader conversation that we are having.
It's not a small thing.
No, let me finish. Let me finish.
You're basically you're encouraging U.S. servicemen and women to dishonorably discharge.
You play a clip, and I'm trying to answer it. You know, you can't do that. You ask a question.
Well, you're trying to downplay it,
and I'm responding. No, I am. No, you're trying to upplay it. Is what the issue is. This is exactly.
I'm just repeating what you said.
You're not. You're playing what I said, and I'm responding to it and telling you that the broader piece of that conversation, when you have troops that are now asking that question, is they are recognizing that America is in steep decline, that our military comes back and they are treated like dirt, that a lot of these men, and we're talking about decades, white American males come back and they're told that they're racist and they're treated like crap, that they're white supremacists, that they have a different vision for this country. So why are they dying in these overseas wars for Bibi Netanyahu? Okay, and let me again try to answer that question that I asked you at the beginning, which is, what has Zionism won America?
I'm not going to keep coming back to the same thing.
No, let me finish. Why won't you let me answer that? Why won't you let me actually say what people are recognizing? You come back and there are open borders and you're told that you are racist, okay? You come back and you're told that you are racist if you don't want open borders. Meanwhile, you're sent overseas to defend Israel's borders. It's a nonsense. And who's funding these open borders? According to Barry Weiss, and I quote, Barry Weiss said this verbatim, the Jewish connection to the refugee is not a conspiracy. That's something that we are very proud of. And she was referencing the organization HIAS, and she says it explicitly, which she said what was started by them in the 1880s, which includes immigrants that have come in like Sergey Brin. They are still the organization that is operating at our border right now, okay? That is problematic, that we have open borders while we continually and routinely are told that we have to defend somebody else's borders, okay? And again, these never-ending wars in the Middle East at the behest of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu was the one that called for Americans to invade Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, and now Iran, and we've done it. We're told Israel can defend itself, okay? But why do we have currently 2,000 troops that are in Syria under the guise of fighting ISIS? And like I said, we know Israel themselves fund terror-adjacent militants like they did to overthrow Assad. And we're done with the BS of, okay, well, they weren't really involved, Israel, in Afghanistan, because even when we fight those never-ending wars, Israel wins. Everybody knows that our boys were out there in Afghanistan guarding poppy fields, okay? And do you know what happened after we allegedly, quote unquote, lost in Afghanistan? What happened to all those poppy fields, those poppy flowers that our military was guarding? Well, the opioid crisis hit America via the Sackler family, who quite literally built the School of Medicine at Tel Aviv University. So we're just done, okay? And there's no way that we're going to go backwards. We're not going to allow you guys to emotionally condition us to go, oh, well, we got to protect Israel because of the Holocaust. It is over. They're imparting a Holocaust. America would like off this crazy train.
Okay, for the benefit of viewers who don't know what I was talking about, under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Article 19, dishonourable discharge can result in forfeiture of all pay and allowances up to 5 years confinement, which is a pretty heavy penalty to pay.
Yeah, I'd want my kids to go to jail before they fought for Israel. I'll say that honestly.
Okay,
I would. I have 3 sons, and I'm going to be honest with you, Pierce. I'm glad you told me that consequence. I'd take that consequence any day to them being sent back over in a coffin because they died for Israel. So.
Okay, but I think the one thing you're missing, look, I come from a big military family, a lot of military in my family, and a lot of people fighting wars on behalf of the United States are not doing it because they think Bibi Netanyahu wants them to. They're doing it because
Some of them do that, and they write into my show and I answer the question.
But many of them won't, and they might be offended by you suggesting that's the only reason they're doing it.
And they can watch your show, and they can be offended all they want, but I think it's more offensive the way that our military is treated, the veterans are treated, and the gaslighting that takes place when we're told that we have to defend everybody's borders but our own.
I actually think America treats its veterans better than almost any country in the world.
I mean, this has always been an open conversation, and I'm just saying that if my boys were being drafted to fight this war in Iran, I would be like, you know what, honey, take the other option. And that's not because it's cowardice. It's because when you sign up for the military...
Okay, but I would say that the pilots...
you are pledging that you are doing something that is going to better your country.
Candace,
and like I said, our country has been in steep decline since we have been part of this foreign policy, which is just whatever Israel wants.
Okay, but you made that point. But what I would say to you is the only people so far that have been involved from the American military were the extraordinarily courageous and skillful pilots who flew these B-2 bombers and attacked the nuclear sites and got back safely. So there's been no troops on the ground committed at all, no declaration of war by the United States. We can quibble. Listen, I don't disagree with you. You bomb somewhere, you probably are at war with them. But there is no official declaration of war. Just as Trump, when he took out Soleimani and Baghdadi and he attacked Syria and so on, he didn't declare war on those places. And actually, it turned out that the apocalyptic warnings of those actions never materialized. So we shall see. I can't let you go without asking. Let me ask you just quickly about the Tucker-Ted Cruz debate. What did you make of that?
Fantastic. It is finally the debate that needed to happen in America, because a part of this nonstop policy is this belief, as you said, Ted Cruz, that if we just do whatever Israel wants, that God's going to bless you. And it's quite ironic because it comes from Protestants, and their normal argument is that the reason why we had to have this fracture in the church was because of indulgences. There's nothing more indulgent than I'm going to be blessed if I just do whatever Israel says. And so because we are finally having that spiritual conversation, which is more important, I suspect there's going to be major changes in the United States going forward. And that is why you're seeing this fracture in the base already.
Tucker, according to Donald Trump, Tucker rang Trump to apologize for some of the more strident rhetoric he's used against him recently. Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? Oh, you can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen, and it is happening. But I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
If it turns out that his instincts were right, that by doing what he did, it brings Iran to the negotiating table and they do a deal on their nuclear plans, would you admit that you were wrong in that circumstance?
Yeah. I will always admit when I'm wrong. Anybody that listens to my podcast knows that. It just so happens to be that, especially if I come on to the Piers Morgan show and I make some predictions, that it ends up that I'm right. So I'm feeling lucky, but I will of course admit I'm wrong if that is the result.
Candace, always good to have your views on Uncensored. You know that. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, joining me now is the Chief Executive Officer of Blaze Media, Glenn Beck.
May I say something just to start? Would we be having this debate in this way if Hamas would have done to England what they did to Israel? Would we be having this debate? Because I don't think we would. I think America would be over there. I think the whole world would be over there, and we'd pound them into sand until they surrendered. But I don't understand why we're having debates here on actions that Barack Obama took, and nobody really said anything about it. They weren't screaming for an act of war. I know this is a very bad situation, and I hope to God. I mean, I'm glad that Donald Trump is our president, because I wouldn't have had the balls to do it. I think it was the right thing to do, but I wouldn't have had the balls to do it.
Well, it's really interesting because I know that historically, I mean, look, you know, I'm not going to pick on you for this, but I happen to be the editor. Right. It'll be obvious what I'm saying, but I was editor of the Daily Mirror newspaper, one of the big national papers in the UK, for many years, and I campaigned vociferously on the front page after front page against the Iraq war. And it was particularly contentious in the UK because we were the Labour supporting newspaper and Tony Blair was a Labour Prime Minister. So it was a huge sort of deal over here. And I know that you initially supported the Iraq War, and then afterwards you later accepted that that had been a mistake, which, you know, again, is part of part of your strength. I think.
You know, I think, Piers, you know, you can't silence people when they're wrong, because hopefully they're on the road to becoming right.
Yes.
But you only get that if you have a debate. And I will tell you that I was for Afghanistan. I was a very big, you know, war hawk. You know, let's go in and just do it. Let's do it. I'm not that way anymore, because I've seen the pattern. It doesn't work out. America needs to mind its own business. We can't export what we have. I mean, I have hopes for the Middle East. I have hopes for Iran. I pray for the people in Iran. They're a very big danger. But, you know, the one thing, again, I go back to Donald Trump. I don't think he's being duped. In 2016, maybe. I mean, he has told me he didn't really know what he was up against. He knows what he's up against now. He hates war, hates it. As much as he loves tariffs, he hates war. He has told me eye to eye about how he has redesigned, or he had to rebuild, our nuclear arsenal. And in a fashion that I've never seen Donald Trump, he said, Glenn, it can never be used. It is horrifying what can be done now. I know, I helped rebuild it. It can never be used. He hates nuclear war. He hates regular war.
Yeah.
And I think he really believes he did the right thing, and I don't think he's being duped by it.
No, and it's interesting because I know that you were hoping he didn't do what he did. Now that he's done it, and obviously it's incredibly early days, and none of us can.
What I'm doing next is watching this go by itself. This is crazy. I'm just watching it and then make sure the box is going through. That's just crazy. This is crazy. Like, I'm pushing cans. That's it. Like, look, I'm just pushing cans, babe. Like, I'm so happy for this. Like, I'm in like a warehouse just pushing cans around. Like, I'm happy. You don't even know. This is all I'm doing. Making sure the cans like this don't fall over, and all I do is flip it back up. This is easy work, crazy. Look, it falls over, all I do is flip it up. It's crazy. Man, I can't beat that, man. I'm grateful every day. From where I just came from, man. Up here doing a deep clean, man. About to foam up this shit, man. Got the foam stick in my hand. You know, we up here overtime. Did Saturday, Sunday, OT. I've been working 7 days straight. Maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days straight, man. I'll be working. Much love to everybody. I hope everybody having a good one. I hope everybody enjoying themselves. I hope everybody enjoy their 4th of July that's coming up, man. Much love to everybody. Yes, sir. Deep cleaning, man. It's another day. We back at it, man. You know, big big pellet. We back at it, man. It's my life story 702. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been showing love and support to the channel, man. It really mean a lot to me. And yeah, let's just keep it going, man. Keep it going. Keep the hard work going. I just want to say I appreciate everybody that's been showing love to the channel. You know, I see I'm growing real slowly but surely. I see the channel is growing. And man, all I can say is thank you guys, man. It means a lot to me. If y'all don't know, I just want to let y'all know it really means a lot to me and my family that y'all showing love to the YouTube channel, man. It really, you know, I can't complain. So thank you guys, and I hope everybody having a blessed one, man. Much love. It's gonna be a long day for me again, you know. So I walk into. So guys, pray for me, man. It's another day. everybody making sure they, keeping a lot of water in their system. Summer is arriving. So I just want to let y'all know, man. It's about to be a hot summer. Another little pal that they got ducked off for me in the cut. Another little pal. Another little pal right here ducked up in the cut. Yeah, it's about to be real. But man, I just want to say, man, it's been a long journey. I've been consistent with this YouTube. I see, man, consistency always beat, procrastination. Consistency always beat procrastinating. So you gotta stay on it. You gotta stay grinding. You gotta stay going hard.